All right, guys. So, found another video to go over here, and gauging just by the title, I'm not gonna like this. Although I'm not incredibly surprised, I guess. Um, Richard Dawkins, of course, is a very well-known, prominent atheist, and he's on many. See that there's a link between atheism and like more left-leaning belief, but there's also a pipeline toward like the social right-wing, like anti-woke type people. And I truly believe it's like a fucking mental illness. But anyway, uh, let's watch this and then I'll get into my thoughts as it goes.
With regards to women and men and the idea that you can think that you're a man and be a man, or think you're a woman, did you see that coming at all, like 10, 20 years ago?
Not at all, no.
Like, it is odd.
I think it's lunatic, actually. I mean, it's verging on insanity. So I did not see that coming. I mean, I could have imagined writing a satirical novel about it, but that's about it.
Yeah, I remember Ricky Gervais makes a joke about that when he says, I think it was just that. It was like the one thing nobody said 10 years ago. That would be the worst thing you can say on Twitter is women don't have penises. Now that would get you.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I can think to top that is identify as a dog. I mean,
I can imagine now there'll be so many angry comments, even now just from this. And I don't know. It's a weird thing. I want to respect everybody and understand everybody, but it just really is something that. Okay, so is there any, if you have to really stretch your mind, is there any scientific backing for the concept of somebody's, like there's a woman brain and a man brain, and
there might be that. There might be that, but
at least he's honest about that. Most retarded right-wing type people will even deny that there's a difference in brain structure and stuff. But at least he admits that, which means he's, I don't know, we'll just let him continue.
But to go from that to saying because you have a female outlook on life or something, and therefore you are a woman, I mean, that is just debauching language.
No one makes that claim. In fact, woman is used in two different manners, and this is very common sense. It shouldn't like, of course, the right wingers are going to be like, because they're fucking absolute morons. But the word woman is extremely ambiguous. It just is. So there's the social version and the biological version, just like it's the same as like how I always point out that people conflate biological sex and gender. Woman is used for both. This is common knowledge. Like I shouldn't need to point this out to anyone. So Richard Dawkins, he's a very intelligent man, which shows that this isn't entirely just about being stupid. There's got to be a personality element. Like he's a contrarian type, like I guess he's the type that uber focuses on like normalcy, which how do you even fucking define that? But just because it's like it goes against established norms, it's like it's just insanity. Like he's a fucking, like, at least on this he's being fucking retarded.
It's one thing. It's perfectly legitimate to say I'm a man, but I feel a certain feminine attitude to things. I feel perhaps I think like a woman. That's fine. I mean, that doesn't.
That's exactly what they're doing. Gender is socially defined. They don't claim that they are biologically women, at least if it's a transgender female. They don't do that ever. And if they do, like, one, I've never experienced that at all, ever, not even once. But if they did, who fucking cares? You're not changing the whole world. The whole point here is these people have a whole lot of fucking like negative outlook. They have very severe rates of depression, and suicide rate is through the fucking roof. And it helps them. It has been shown clinically that it helps them if people at least fucking legitimize their fucking chosen gender and their identity. That's all it's about. No one's changing science. No one's changing anything. All you're being is a decent human being and not treating someone like a piece of shit for no fucking reason. That's it. Nothing else changes.
That doesn't worry me at all. But to then say, therefore I am a woman, is just a betrayal of language, of truth and the virtues of honest communication.
Again, he's making the exact same mistake that right-wingers make. Conflating biology through sex and sociology, gender. Science has nothing to say about gender because it can't. It makes no sense. Like, dude, use your brain. You have one.
I find the ideology very conservative because it tells me that if my son wants to play with things that are typically feminine or stereotypically feminine, then they have to change to fit in. They have to become a woman to fit in with that.
Yes, I quite agree.
It's a crazy thing, really. So, well, okay, so if we are just to go out there a bit, I mean, are there aspects of brains that are male and typically female?
Probably. I don't know much about it. I wouldn't wish to deny that.
See? Like, he at least is smart enough to know that. And like he says probably because he didn't really dig into it. He don't know all the details, but he's aware enough about fucking neurochemistry that it's probably the case. There you go. There's no fucking problem. End of discussion. Why are you just being like, okay, if you admit that there are differences in structure and neurochemistry between men and women, and that there may be like a biological, neurochemical, or brain, or a biological brain basis for being transgender, which there is. I've covered it before in the past. The research is clear on it. Then that's it. You just explained it. They are biologically born one sex, but their brain tells them that they are otherwise because of the way it's structured. We can prove that. That's it. We're done. Why do you have to be a douchebag? The only thing left at that point, like if you still fight against it at that point, you're just a dick. There's no other explanation because you understand it. You understand everything. Like, is it all over semantic shit? You don't like that they use the word woman? Because that's stupid. And by the way, we've always used it in like a both. Woman has never explicitly meant biological, period. Never. That's bullshit. It's always been a socially defined word. It means, it's usually used in roles, like this is a woman's role. This is a man's role. It does not have to mean biological. It can be used in either. So again, when a transgender person said, like if a transgender female claims that they're female or a woman, whatever, they're doing so because it helps them, because it allows them to feel more at ease with their identity. It would be like if you as a dude fucking felt that they were that they were actually a woman, and everyone kept like just saying that you're a liar. Your brain, you can't really do anything about it. It's how you're fucking born. We've proven that. It's not a choice. It's how they're born, at least in a vast, vast majority of cases. So again, it has nothing to do with biology. It just has to do with you're not being a fucking douchebag for no reason. They're not harming anyone. They're not doing anything wrong. They just want to be called what they want to be called. And no, they don't claim that they're biologically the opposite sex. I've never seen that. So it's like a bunch of lies.
But it's not a very profound observation. I think that you can find aspects of feminine sympathy in some male people and vice versa, and it would be surprising if that were not so. But as I said, but to go from that to the positive statement, I am a woman.
Woman does not automatically imply biology. You fucking... I was about to call him stupid again. Like, I guess in this case, it's not just about smarts, but you're stupid in the sense that you're easily swayed. Like this fucking virus, this stupid anti-woke retarded like fucking disease that's going around has like infected fucking Richard Dawkins. So it shows that it's not just about intelligence, but it's at least stupid on one different level. Like, how can he not understand? He just explained it. They do not claim that they're a woman biologically, you fucking moron.
Is verging on insanity.
Is it dangerous?
Well, I think that I mean, people who certain people like Kathleen Stock and J.K. Rowling have suffered in their lives and their careers as a consequence of speaking out.
As they should, because it's not like they did nothing. Like, hey, I just wanted to be truthful. That's not the case. That's never the case. They're just assholes. They're purposefully trying to harm people. It does J.K. Rowling absolutely no harm to just shrug and go, okay, so it's a dude that thinks he's a chick and prefers to be called a chick. Like, okay, I'll just call him a chick. It's not like the entire world, including that transgender person, by the way, isn't aware of the opposite. It's not like you're changing reality. The only thing, you're just not being a piece of shit, evil fucking human being. That's it. Like, why the fuck do you have to? Like, you can't defend people like J.K. Rowling. There's no defense for it.
On behalf of women, and they so far haven't, I think, actually suffered physical danger, but some of them have come close to it.
The saddest part about J.K. Rowling is that she was abused by her first husband and left in the street in a pool of her own blood in Portugal.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, before she wrote Harry Potter. And she had a very difficult time during that time. So for her, it's a really personal thing, about women's spaces and changing rooms and things like that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, her not to excuse fucking domestic violence, but her being abused by her husband does not give her carte blanche to fucking attack people for doing absolutely nothing wrong. She's not a victim, and at least in this latter case. She may have been a victim before, but that doesn't change anything. She's still a douchebag, and she should still be fucking pushed back against for her fucking obvious hate mongering. Like, that's all there is to it.
It's so sad. It's so sad to think that. And then she the Harry Potter stuff, I mean, it's an analogy for the Nazis. I don't know. Have you read Harry Potter?
I have, yes.
Enjoy it?
I didn't know. Well, yes, I enjoyed it. I held out against it for a while, but then I discovered that Stephen Fry was reading it, and I can't resist Stephen Fry, so I listened to him, and I liked it. I mean, quite a lot of what I like is that she's actually sending up the magical stuff. I mean, it's so kind of satirical. I didn't know it had anything to do with the Nazis. That's
the whole, well, as it goes further into the whole mythology, I think there's like the good and the bad and the pure bloods.
Okay, I'm just carry on. I've only read the first 2 or 3 books, I think.
Oh, they develop. It's funny because it's so brilliant. So I'm going to show off now, right? So I can speak 5 languages, and each time I learned a new one, I did it through Harry Potter in Spanish or French. So there's the 7 books. I'm not sure. And what's brilliant about it as a language tool is they start very much for children. They're like for a reading age of 11 or 12, and the writing becomes a little bit more complex.
Yes.
It's not Dostoevsky at any point, but it starts to get there. By the final book, you're really in this big epic about the bad people who want everyone to have the pure blood, like the Nazis.
Yes, that sounds very interesting.
So
I shall resume my Stephen Fry listening.
He's great, Stephen Fry. I heard him talk a little bit about doing those audiobooks, and there were certain words he was tripping over.
Yes, I heard that.
He asked J.K. Rowling, can I do different words? And she said no.
Yes.
Which, fair enough, if you're the writer, you know. Gosh, Stephen Fry, have you done debates with him? I'm just remembering now, because I know he did Intelligence Squared. Was that with you, or was Christopher Hitchens?
Yes, it was Christopher Hitchens. I've encountered him from time to time. I like him enormously. He's a wonderful man.
We should get him in. I'd love to meet Stephen Fry as well. Fantastic person. So yeah, the J.K. Rowling thing I think is really sad. Do you notice? I don't know. There sometimes seems to be different decades where we're a bit more is the word censorious?
Yes.
Yeah, we're a bit more censorious for sort of a decade, and then we sort of relax a little bit. Children rebel against their parents.
Yes.
Do you think that might be what's really going on?
Possibly. Yes, could be.
That was just a clip from my full episode with Richard Dawkins. The full episode is on my main channel, which is
Well, All I can say is I am highly disappointed in Richard Dawkins. And while he may be correct about many things, in my personal opinion, I think he is absolutely incorrect on this one. And he's just a fucking bigot. Like, that's all there is to it. Now, I understand how the right thinks, at least for the most part. I mean, not perfectly, but I've dealt with them long enough to where I have a decent little lens through which they see the world. They'll literally do the opposite of the truth. They're going to claim that I am infected by a woke mind virus, or that I'm virtue signaling, etc. And none of that's true. It's just once you understand that there's a difference between biology and the social deal of gender, sex and gender, once you understand and you don't conflate them anymore, then you understand that it's a fucking non-issue. Like, who cares? So once you understand that, and you understand that they are not claiming that they are biologically the opposite sex, once you understand that, the only thing that's left, if you have a problem with it, once you've come to that understanding, you're just an asshole. There's nothing else to it, because it's a fucking non-issue. It doesn't harm anyone. It doesn't cause any sort of fucking problems. Like, at least if you get rid of all the lies that like Fox News has told about the fucking all sorts of shit they've lied about when it comes to trans, like fucking drag queen story hour shit that they made up, at least the exaggerations about it and what it represented, their extreme coverage of like basic, just simple fucking books that it just included gender, because it's actually a thing that happens, right? So that's what fucking education is. You explain, like, to children, like, hey, you might come across someone who is like this, and then you explain like what that is. That's it. Like, this shit that like fucking the right wing has spread as like fear mongering, that they're trying to turn your fucking children into trans people, is stupid. Even on it, one, it never happened. Two, even if they tried, it wouldn't work, because being trans is fucking biological in nature, at least for the most part. There may be some people that have went through some traumatic event that end up identifying as the opposite because of that traumatic event, but that is extraordinarily rare. We've already proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that you can determine this through brainwave patterns and the actual structure of the brain at a very, very, very early age, which means that their brain is closer to the gender that they identify with than would be with the biological sex they were born as. This is proven. This is done. It's over. That's a fact. So if you have a problem at that point, you're just fucking hating for you're just a piece of shit. That's all there is to it. And apparently that's Richard Dawkins, because I sincerely, well, I was going to say I sincerely believe that he understands better. He actually showed in this interview that he understood. Like, he knows. He explained it. And he's still fucking just being a douchebag. That's all there is. Anyway, that's my take on this. Thank you for your time.